we'll unveil this monument that's been erected today through the efforts of the committee that were formed to put the day on. It's an honour for me to be asked by the committee to chair the session today, and I'd like to extend my appreciation to you all for supporting the committee's efforts in coming along today. And they've organised things very well, except that a few of us that did a bit of work down the bottom missed out on a meal. They've all even done fairly well with the weather because it can get very blowy here at times. One of the benefits of today, and I've seen it around in action where so many people reacquaint themselves with people that they've not seen for many a year. And I've myself heard a lot of stories told today, and I'm sure that won't be the end of it, because when we adjourn later on to the Workers' Club, people get a bit lubricated and things will get into full swing. We have some apologies today from Fern Clinton and family, Reg Fraser and family, Norm Gamage and family, Richard Ivor Owens and family, W. Chisholm and family, Jeff Robinson and family, Mel Smith and family, and you remember Mel wrote the history book on that, Milton Bell and family, and Les Olson and family. We also, it's a pity they can't be with us on this day, we'd also like to make a special welcome to Mrs. Bill Parkinson. If you remember back, Bill was one of the original founders of Nattai, and also the past General President of the Miners' Federation. Welcome, Mrs. Parkinson. Just an announcement, a commercial if you like. The chap standing up on the table here is from Focus Video, is taking video of today's proceedings. The videos will be on sale, and if you'd like one, would you kindly see the chap before you go today and place your order? I'm not sure how long it will take to get them, but the best way to do it is by ordering it today if you want one. Now, today has a tinge of sadness, but it signals an end of an era in the Burragorang Valley. We've come to know it over the last 60 years through coal mining, and many a story has been told over that. Well, mining will still continue in the area, but will not be in the valley as we have come to know it over these past years. It's interesting to note that during the 60 years of mining, when we move out in another 2 or 3 months, it'll clearly demonstrate to people that are anti-mining that mining can be done in a sensitive area, and when we move out within a very short time, there'll be no signs at all to indicate that we're there. So it's a point that we should all bear in mind. I'd again like to express gratitude to the committee who come up with the idea of putting today on, and they've done such a good job in organising. The reality of the moment came home yesterday when 30 men walked out of Nattai for the last time. Consider that those 30 men had over 600 years of mining experience between them in 2 months. So I was only the boy of the place. But that 600 years of experience is quite a wealth of experience. 45 years of service in Nattai, which I'm sure I doubt will ever be achieved or equalled by anybody else. I guess by being the manager, you're supposed to be a leader. And I demonstrated that a week ago last Friday by making the first exit, start of the exodus. That these things happen, and mining resources are non-renewable. And finally we come to the day where the mine is all but worked out, and sadly I say that will be the end of the mining in the valley. The formalities today, we have 3 speakers. Those of you that have seen the program would have seen that Barry Swan was supposed to be here from Water Board, Joint Coal Board. They contributed to the monument, and unfortunately Barry sent his apologies and won't be here today. We won't keep the formalities very long, it's pretty windy up here. The first speaker today will be from the Water Board, it's Craig Barragher. And I guess if you consider the Water Board as their landlord, it's probably very fitting that Craig would be the first speaker. Would you please welcome Craig Barragher?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Charlie Taylor. Ladies, gentlemen and children, I'm very honoured to be invited here today to represent the Water Board at the dedication of this memorial at the Burragorang Lookout and to participate in the Back to Nattai Bulli Day. I know that mining has had a profound effect on the lives of people living in the Oakdale and the Nattai areas. Many of you here today can trace your family history back to the old Burragorang Valley before it became protected water catchment in the late 1950s. The Water Board is very pleased in some small way to provide the rotunda for this dedication to all miners and mix. Both the mining industry and the Water Board have had to coexist and at times jointly manage the catchment. Just last year we had 9 fires in the Nattai Valley which were deliberately lit, and we received great assistance from the miners and local volunteer fire brigades in protecting this national bushland. This valley has now been proclaimed a natural reserve, which adds another dimension to managing this complex water catchment. To all the miners who have worked in the 8 mines over the years, congratulations in being part of an industry which has generated great wealth for Australia, and you can be proud of being associated with the first mines to export coal from Australia to Japan. Finally, I wish to acknowledge the work done by Ralph Sharp, who first approached me regarding this memorial to mining in the valley. Ralph has done a great job in arranging this event. In concluding, I would like to quote part of the poem written by Mr. G. Armour around the 1930s, titled By the Wallandilly, which has been selected by the Water Board to be inscribed on the monument. Fires and cook our fish, and once more swing the billy. Thank you.
Thank you, Craig. Tom Pratt is the President of the Nattai United Mine Workers Federation of Australia, formerly, part of the Mine Mechanics and Miners Federation. But Cole has the unique honour of being the only President of the local union who come from the ranks of the mechanics since they've been united. I guess that's an honour that won't be repeated either, because Cole's successor comes from the production stream. Cole had 34 years experience in Nattai, so he's no newcomer to Nattai and to the people at Nattai, and I'm sure Cole would be very welcome today.
Well, thank you, Charlie. Well, on behalf of the Nattai Lodge, I would like to welcome the visitors, fellow workmates and present workmates to this Nattai farewell. As you're all aware, Nattai has a reputation of being first. So it was befitting here today that we decided to invite all our fellow workmates to join us for the last time when Nattai can no longer employ us. By the response here today, and from our old workmates that have come from miles and far and wide, I think we made the right decision. We thought we would erect a monument as a reminder of this proud and great mining valley, and also as a tribute to those miners who gave their lives to these mines. I would like to thank the following people: the Joint Coal Board for their donation, the Water Board for their donation and permission to erect the monument here, and to Kluger, who has paid the majority of today's expenses. And finally, to our committee, Ralph Sharp, John Robinson, Philip Carey, and Rod Powell, who are responsible for today's events. And finally, I'd just like to thank Coal Walters and the Road Gang for the effort that they put in to make this day possible. Thank you.
Yeah. We now come to the highlight of the afternoon, which will be the unveiling of the monument that's been erected today, courtesy of the Coal Board and Water Board. I the man that's going to unveil the monument needs no introduction. I look on him as the father of coal mining in the valley. He's been around not quite as long as Kevin Curry, but very, very close to it. And anyone that's worked in that, I would not need me to introduce Jim Brown, who will do the ceremony today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Charlie. It is indeed a real pleasure to gather amongst so many friends. And as I look around, I can see many faces here, and many of you have either lived in the valley or you have spent the better part of your lives working and toiling in this valley. And it is a wonderful valley, isn't it? And it's great that we can all gather together here this afternoon. We look up here and we see, in effect, the story of the ages. There you can see for over 50 kilometres up the valley that way. And if you look over the top of the ridges this way, you can see as far as the summit on the way to Jenolan Cave. And I was interested to hear our friend from the Water Board say that mining and water could come together. And that reminded me of some words that I heard the chairman of the Water Board, Mr. John Goodsall, he quoted in 1959, we had a cairn of stones up where the washery is now on the next ridge over, and just a rough bush track, and the Water Board members came up there, and we wanted to build the washery there and put the mountain conveyor up over the cliffs. And he said, there's two things here that belong to the people, and that is coal and water. And I believe that we should cooperate together so that we can get the benefit of both products for the people. And that's exactly what has happened. He was a good chairman and a very practical man. You didn't have to go through EISs and all the other hoops that you have to go through now. That decision was made there and then on the spot, and away we went. So another thing, when the very ground that you're standing on, say 300 metres right down below you, at one time there were men digging coal right beneath your feet where you are now. And I think of other things. I think of one time I came out here to the lookout with a friend, and a young lad walked over and he came up from a little cave down below there and he brought up an Aboriginal axe. Well, they were the first inhabitants of the valley and they used stone tools. And then there were miners came along with steel picks and axes. Yes, there were hundreds of axes came in and out this valley. I think at one time, I remember a story, someone said they'd run out of axes at the pit and they wanted a couple more. So they sent into the store at Narellan there for a couple of axes. And Bill Clinton sent word back out. He said, hey, he had 6 last week. But, the thing about it was you had to provide an axe for every family besides what went on in the pit. Anyway, then the era goes on and the pick, it was replaced by the spanner. And so now it's the age of technology. We went through the age of firing many shots. There was thousands of tons of explosive came into this valley. Then shots were fired to break the coal up and mechanical loaders loaded it. Then came the continuous miners, and now if you don't have a longwall in, well, you don't exist. Now we want to thank the men at Nattai. They've done a remarkable job. There has been some difficulties and they have given everything. There's no doubt they have done a tremendous job, but that's not the end. There's better things ahead, you see. They'll go into Oakdale and Brimstone, and then the coal flows off from the longwall face, and things will be very rosy indeed. We are convinced of that. We are convinced that we will be mining 4.5 million tonne of coal from the 2 collieries just to our east here. Brimstone and Oakdale, and the Nattai men are going to play a big part in that. And so we come to the occasion, and Charlie said about unveiling. Well, it's already unveiled. So I couldn't think of anything better to say than say, well, righto, let's give it 3 cheers, because we have something to celebrate. We come here by common consent. We have some common motive in view, and that is to make sure that this monument here is here for posterity, and you have been witnesses on this occasion. You think of the first white man that came into the valley, that was Burragorang, and he came down down by the Nattai there 190 years ago. And then Macquarie, he came right over where we are. This used to be the original road, the track down there. And those of you that were at Nattai this morning, you can still see the stone walls of the original road just up behind the colliery there. Okay, so the roads and the trucks will come out no more from the valley, but the coal will go up the drifts and up the shafts, and it will still flow on. And so we celebrate today, and so I say we get 3 cheers. Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray! Hip hip! Hooray! The monument for posterity.
Organising today and getting the monument constructed and erected, I believe there's no mean feat to put that in here, because it weighs probably something like 2 tonnes, and it's a bit awkward to get a crane in, so it took some getting in on Thursday when they put it in. Just like to thank you again for coming along today. It's a very special day for the miners and for Nattai and for coal and for Clutha. And we invite you down to the Workers Club if you'd like to adjourn to thereafter for a couple of hours and some more storytelling and reminiscing and whatever else you can find at the club to do. So that just about wrapped up today, and again, thank you, thank the committee, and thank Clutha, and thank the speakers, Craig and Jim, and look forward to seeing you down at the Workers Club. Thank you.